Okay, we got Carletta Price on this webinar, and she is kind enough to jump in and kind of give us a little bit of background on her and her story. She's got a great success story. And for you, Carletta, I wanted to kind of go back. I want to talk about the last year, but first, before we talk about just the last 12 months, I want to go back to earlier because I think you have some story that was going on that I don't really fully remember. So why don't you just go back and tell some of the earlier part of your story as it relates to me and kind of some of our events.
Okay. Well, I first received information through direct mail from Chauncey about 2005, and at that time was the first year that I actually attended one of his live events. And I got some terrific ideas, and I came back and I implemented, and I tried, I did well. We grew our business, but then I got, busy and everything and found it harder. I tried to follow Chauncey through webinars and reading his material and stuff, and stopped going to the live events, which was a mistake because I started when I went to his event last June. Right before that, the last couple of years we were going backwards instead of forwards.
Well, why don't you give everybody just a little quick snapshot of what kind of business you have, and how many clients, where are you, just some basic information.
Okay, I'm in DeRidder, Louisiana. I have a CPA firm. It's a small town, about 10,000 people. I've been in business for 16 years, and at the same location. And our clientele is mostly individuals with small businesses or farms.
Gotcha. And so, where were you as a business, as a small tax practice, small town? A year ago, what made you come back? You said that you hadn't been to one of my events in a long time, so what made you come back?
Well, what made me come back was I was at the point, I was very in a bad place. I was at the place that I just resigned myself that I would not be able to grow my practice, that I was going to have to be the one that was burdened with all the work. I could have some support people like a receptionist and everything, but I had trouble because I would hire people and train them, and then nobody wanted to stay in this small of a town, so I just had a turnover of people, and I felt at the point when I went last year that there was no way to find anybody that, for this small town that would be helpful to me. So I was really in a bad place.
Yeah, so you came to the event last year, and I think it was in Charlottesville, Virginia, and you were, what happened when you got in the room? Was it the people in the room? Was it what was said from the stage, or kind of what? Because I don't want to put words in your mouth. What happened?
It was so much. It was really both of them. What I was hearing from you and all the speakers you had, plus the input I was getting from other tax practitioners and business owners. But I guess the biggest thing that made the biggest impact on me, but it scared me to death at the time, but it ended up being the best thing, was when you put me on the hot seat and made me tell other I was scared at the time. And I had to tell other practitioners about my business and the problems I was having. And it was just invaluable, the feedback that I got from you and the attendees in the room. It was just awesome.
So that was a big shift for you, actually coming clean, saying some things that were bugging you, some things that weren't going right, and then you got a lot of positive feedback on what you could do, real practical steps, right?
Right, real world things that I could go back and put into action. I actually left that live event with a whole new attitude. I felt like I could grow my business and that I would be right, back on track.
So it's a year later. You've been through another tax season. Kind of, what are some of the stats? How much better did you do?
Oh, wow. We did so much better. This is our best tax season we've ever had in the entire 16 years, even during, the highs and lows. This is the best ever. We increased our gross sales this year over 80%. We increased the number of returns we did by about 25%. So a lot of it was me. I came back within 2 months of the event, following the things I learned at the event, and I was able to hire a tax manager. That's been awesome. I raised my prices, which wasn't as big of a deal as I thought it was going to be, and a lot of other things. The 80/20 mindset that I learned from you was awesome as well.
Well, that's good. So I just see a different person. Like the person that I saw in the room a year ago, and then the person I see now on this screen are two different people. What's new? How are you different? Like what's personally, and how is your different? Just a bit different. Just from a personal standpoint and a tax business.
Oh wow, it's totally done a 180. I'm so excited now. I'm not depressed anymore. I'm excited, and I see the future growth that we're having. We're looking at expanding into a larger city, so I'm excited about that. And I just see all the more opportunities, and I've let go. I've learned not to be such a control freak. I've learned how to work on my business instead of in my business.
That's great. So there are people that are watching you right now on this webcast that are thinking to themselves, should I go? Should I not go? Should I participate? Should I actually, it costs money to get on a plane or train or automobile or whatever. It costs money for hotels, travel. It's time away from my family, all that stuff. What would you say to those people?
I would say register now. Do not do what I did. So many times between last year and 2005, the reason I made excuses for not going was money, was just the being away from my office, not being able to trust my staff and stuff to be away from my office, or didn't feel like I could. And so I would say register now. The return on investment is so much better, and it's so different. Your live events are so helpful. It's real world help. It's not some boring continuing ed class that you leave and it helps your business. No way. So this is really a very good real world learning experience. You're learning from Chauncey, who's been there. You're hearing stories from people that are there now. It's just a tremendous experience that it's worth the money.
What about, I know some people say, well, Chauncey, I really appreciate all the material that you deliver and all the how-tos, but we really like just being around other like-minded tax professionals. Was that the same with you?
Yes, yes, yes. You learn so much from them, and there's so much camaraderie in the room. Everyone's willing to help, and we trade business cards, and there's just so much that you learn also from them. You go to lunch with them, or you talk in breaks, and there's just so much knowledge that you get from that you couldn't get anywhere else.
So do you see any, like you've been to a couple of my events, do you ever see any speakers at other events in the tax industry similar to some of the ones that I bring in for my events?
No, not at all. The ones that you bring in for your events are helpful to growing or helping us improve our business. So no, not at all.
So you there's so many good things that you talk about. Any last words, any last things you can say about to anybody watching that you want to tell them before we finish up?
Just please, if you're thinking about this, if you want to grow your business, if you want to have a better personal life, a better business life, all the way around, this is the event to come to.
And they can meet you personally.
Yes, I'm going to be there. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
All right.
I'm continuing to grow, so I'm continuing in it.
All
Not
right.
letting up.
Carletta, thank you so much. I appreciate all you got to say, and I'll look forward to seeing you in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Okay, see
All
you
right.
in June.
All right. See ya.